I don't love my explanation for this question. I think it's very clear what the answer is, but I think it's kind of hard to explain. And so maybe the strategy here is a rare case of trusting your instincts on an ideas question. 'Cause this is definitely ideas. It has a literal question. So we kind of need to, focus on the ideas piece. But obviously if you got it wrong, then you didn't have good instincts. And so that's why I don't love my explanation here that, you should have just trusted them. So you did, and you got it wrong. So here we go. Let's take a look at what we need to do. First and foremost, the original version of what's going on isn't really wrong. So it is even said that Londoners donned black armbands in solidarity. Such armbands are a traditional symbol of mourning. Okay, so as separate sentences, not terrible. We can get away with it. It's not grammatically wrong. But they want us to combine them. But when we do that, we really need to make sure that we're combining the ideas and that we're doing it correctly. So choice A has a little bit of a problem with that. It is even said that Londoners donned such black armbands in solidarity, a traditional symbol of mourning. So two issues with that. Number one, the such is weird. The reason we were able to use it in the second sentence in the original paragraph is that it's clearly referring to something that we just introduced. But if we combine the sentences and then throw it in there, we're referring to the armbands as if we've already talked about them. But we haven't. This sentence is introducing this concept to us. So that's weird. The other issue is a traditional symbol of mourning. This is kind of like a modifier. It's giving us extra information about something. Now, when we use modifiers, and this is another grammar rule that comes up on the test from time to time, we need to keep the idea that the modifier is referring to, that it's modifying, next to the thing itself, right? So if we did that, it would seem that we're referring to solidarity, that we're describing solidarity as a traditional symbol of mourning. But what we really want to do is describe the armbands as the symbol of mourning. So this is wrong, this is what it should be, and it's not close enough to that. So this is what I mean by this question being a test of ideas. We need the ideas to flow. Right now, we've taken a description and separated it from the thing it's describing. We really can't do that. So it's wrong, but because we kind of know what we're trying to say, like, it doesn't sound that wrong. We kind of get it. And so that's what's going to happen in all these choices is we're kind of coming up against our own knowledge. We know what they're trying to say, so when the ideas get jumbled, we're not confused. We know what they meant, but we still need to write it as if we didn't know, for the dumber readers out there. So let's take a look at B. It is even said that Londoners don black armbands, these being a traditional symbol of mourning in solidarity. So this is much more traditionally what's wrong with answer choices on these combined sentences questions. The big red flag for me is the word being. This is just a problem. It just makes things wordy. I guess almost here we even have like maybe a run-on sentence, a rare case where this might just be grammatically wrong as well. I don't really even know. It's just that word being is so bad. We really want to avoid that if we can. And so B to me is the one that's like most obviously wrong in a very typical way for this type of question. C. It is even said that Londoners don black armbands, a traditional symbol of mourning in solidarity. So this has fixed the problem with choice A. A traditional symbol of mourning, that's the topic, that's the modifier, this interruption. And so we want that to be close to the thing it's modifying. And sure enough, what is the traditional symbol of mourning? The armbands. It's right up against it. Notice that difference between choice A. So that is good. The thing I don't love is that there is an interruption. Normally when we do these combined sentences, we're also talking about the flow of the sentence, and having these like commas and interruptions kind of gets in the way of that. And so I wouldn't just go ahead and pick choice C here because I don't like that there's this break in the middle of our thought. That's not great. But if we look at choice D, we've got another problem. It is even said that Londoners don traditionally symbolic black armbands in mourning and solidarity. Here, the ideas are just getting all jumbled up. They're not traditionally symbolic. they're a traditional symbol. Like, it's just something has flipped here in a way that's really weird. Like, um, we're also like mourning and solidarity is getting mixed here. And so the thing that I didn't really like about C ends up being a good thing is there are several ideas kind of layered in this sentence. And by using the commas, we've kind of separated out the two things that we want to say. And so it's visually distinctive and separate. Whereas D just mixes it all together. And so the two ideas that we want to get across that they're donning the armbands in solidarity, and an armband is a symbol of mourning. Those are two separate ideas, and so C kind of keeps them separate in a way that still is combined in a sentence, in one sentence. D is just mixing all these ideas together, and I don't even know where one idea begins and the other idea ends. It's just confusing now. So this is hard. This is just an unusual version of these combined sentences questions, but in another sense, it's very typical because, like I said at the beginning, if we predict the question here, we can see that because there is a literal question, we know that this question is testing the ideas in the lines. And so that should be our first focus. And that is ultimately why C is the best answer. It's the way that the ideas flow and connect. The other choices aren't necessarily grammatically wrong, but they're not ideal ways of mixing these concepts and these ideas. So it's just a way to kind of keep you on track when you encounter these, is you really want to think of those ideas first, and then maybe some style stuff down the road. But ideas first, try to make sure the sentence still makes sense.